What it is, what it ain't. Don't it stink, what it do? Episode 20, Dry Humpin'. Episode 19 is a lost episode. It did happen, but a few mistakes were made. Weren't able to produce it, but because it happened, it's a baby. It counted. So here we are, episode 20. Let's get into it. You know how we do. We get in, we get out, we talk about what's happening. First thing first this week, R. Kelly has been found guilty. Raise your hand if you're surprised. No hands went up. All right then. He could face life in prison. Apparently he was found guilty on multiple racketeering charges. Of all the shit that R. Kelly was going to go to jail for over this, I didn't think racketeering would be it, if I'm being honest. Not 100% sure if I know what racketeering is. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% sure I don't know what racketeering is. But I did not think racketeering would be the thing that R. Kelly went to jail for. But hey, jail is jail. Behind bars is behind bars. Detained is detained. He could face life. Hearing some of that testimony and some of the things that he allegedly did to these people, life seems about right. So we'll see what happens with the sentencing. And for now, we gonna move on. We going quick, baby. China has banned everything. TikTok usage will be reduced for young kids to either no usage or very limited during the weekend. Kids will not be able to or allowed to play video games online or do any type of video game play during the week. That is restricted to the weekend. Those are all, as the Chinese government are saying, in an effort to start and develop better habits for the children of China. I don't really want to have an opinion on that because, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, but telling someone that they don't have the freedom to make those choices themselves is problematic. Damn, I guess I do have an opinion on it. You just got it. They also, out of the blue, banned cryptocurrency. And I did not check to see, but I can imagine that Bitcoin has probably dropped in value because of this. Going to check that out after the fact because, my Bitcoin wallet. But for now, let's move on. Brian Laundrie. I spoke about him last week. I was going to say that, but I didn't produce that. You didn't see it. Brian Laundrie, the boyfriend of Gabby Petito, the young lady who was found found somewhere in Montana, somewhere on a hiking trail. I don't know the entire backstory to that. I may be the only person in America that does not have the entire backstory in my back pocket. She was found dead on a road trip that she took with her boyfriend, Mr. Brian Laundrie. An arrest warrant has now been issued for him. I'm pretty sure most people have been keeping up with this story more than I have, but apparently he is missing. They have looked for him in the Florida Everglades. A woman called and said she thinks she saw him in Canada. He's missing. So I don't know what good this arrest warrant is going to do if you can't find this man. He's a bald-headed white guy who looks kind of like Rory from the formerly of the Joe Budden podcast and now of the Rory and Maul podcast. So he's your everyday looking white guy. He's not going to be the easiest person to spot. He's missing. Dog the Bounty Hunter has been dispatched to go look for him apparently. And according to the last report I read, Dog the Bounty Hunter said he's closing in on him. So I read on it last week about how this case got all the media attention as opposed to Jelani Day and everything that was going on with his disappearance. And prayers to his family. His body has since been found. But this case got a whole lot more attention than that. And people were talking about how there's missing white girl syndrome in America. And when a missing white girl happens, we pay all the attention to that. And not so much when young black people go missing, or black women, or black men, or Latino women, or even white men for that matter. But when it's a white woman, we all pay attention to it. And that's somewhat true. White women go missing and we don't pay attention to. Let's be fair and say that. And I also want to take that fairness a little bit further because last week I was fully in that camp of this missing white woman thing is happening over here and no one's paying attention to Jelani Day over here. But now when you look at this and you see Dog the Bounty Hunters on the case, this story is straight out of a magazine. This is straight out of a novel. This is a movie. This has turned into something that's so sensationalized that it is basically reality TV at this point. And that is very sad for all the families involved. It really is. And in America, we should probably get a life and not sensationalize someone's death and someone missing, mentally dealing with the fact that they killed someone that they loved, or they left someone that they love and someone else killed them. So there's a lot of human elements to this that's not being touched on, that's not being talked about, and we're just sensationalizing it, and we're having fun with it, thinking about Dog the Bounty Hunter on the case. Yeah, I sucked all the fun out of that, but seriously, this is reality TV now. This is reality TV, and what happens when we get to a conclusion of this? We just move on to the next thing and we sensationalize the next person's death? I hope not. We should do better. Let's move on. United Airlines has terminated 600 employees for refusing the COVID vaccine. I don't really have an opinion on this anymore. I want everybody to get vaccinated because it's probably the safest bet for society and public health. People are choosing not to. At this point, the battle lines have been drawn. You're not going to convince someone to go get vaccinated if they have not chosen to do so already. So there's absolutely no point in trying at this point. So I feel for these people who lost their job. I will say that they had a choice to make and they made it. And, hopefully for them, it was worth it. Maybe they can find, there's a lot of places hiring, the world's out there. There's a lot of places that need employees. So hopefully they had a backup plan. Hopefully they had their money saved up. Hopefully they invested in crypto and cashed out before China banned it. I still need to check on my wallet. Ooh. But yeah, companies are starting to make these decisions where if you want to work here, you got to get vaccinated. People are choosing not to get vaccinated. People are going to lose their employment for it. There is no take to have on that. If you feel like it's worth it for you to not get vaccinated, risk your life, risk your employment, more power to you. I pray for the health and safety of everybody. So we're going to move on. And we're going to bring this to an end here today with some fun. I guess this is fun. I think this is fun. You may disagree. You may think this is some BS that someone got fucked over. We'll see. There's a Danish artist whose name is Jen Hanning. Jens. Jenshanning. So that's probably more pronounced like Jens Hanning. But anyway, Danish artist. A museum paid him $84,000. A museum paid him $84,000 to display his artwork. When he delivered the work, he just delivered a blank canvas. And he called the work, "Take the money and run." Absolutely great. Yes, that sounds like fraud, but hey, I honestly wonder now, can you call something fraud in a situation like this? Because art is subjective. If he said, "Hey, this is my art," people out here hanging bananas from a string and calling that art, and people are paying to go see it. And the best thing about this museum is probably still going to end up getting their money back or making their money off of this. You hang this blank canvas, you call it Jens Hanning's "Take the Money and Run." People are going to want to go there, take pictures in front of it. This probably should have happened when travel and the world was a little bit more open, because this generation in the world now, we all have a sense of humor. So people would have definitely went to this Danish museum or to this museum to say, "Hey, I would like to take a picture in front of Take the Money and Run." But, you may not be able to do that now. Hopefully this museum makes their $84,000 back. Shout out to Jens Hanning. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. I hope that person doesn't end up in prison for this. And this is where we're going to leave it this week. Oh my God, it's been a while. I'm going to produce this episode. As always, this has been therapeutic for me. I hope you got something out of it as well. We will be back next week, barring no F-ups on my behalf, all complete user error. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Cam for the help. We'll see you next week. As always, have fun.